saw something in your recommended feed and went, "Yep, I know what my intro is for tonight. Everyone else can go home." No? Well, you don't run radio shows, so I might actually be the only one who knows. That and the radio master of WFAR. And maybe Studio Mercy. No, not my ship AI, the other one. Anyway, that was Helldiver's 2X Halo ODST soundtrack epic version by Artharva Mohite Music. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but let me just say, that was a fluffing masterpiece. 10 out of 10, no notes. I physiologically cannot heap further praise onto this. So, the top news of the evening is that Tyranny Part 2 on Borea is in trouble. I mean, for the love of sweet, sour, and salty liberty, it didn't even make it 2 weeks. Oh, for the love of... Mercy, is that you? What's going on over there, man? In the name of Mater's democracy, please.
My vocal modulator is malfunctioning again. Everything seems fine, but at the end of some sentences, I say the wrong. I shall mute myself and effect repairs.
Anyway, yes, Tyranny Part 2 is at a R-triple-D situation. Really deep doo-doo. Apparently, there was some sort of catastrophic malfunction earlier today in the Charger Behemoth exhibit, the exact details of which are not currently known. The effect of which is the unscheduled release of Terminids outside of the TP2 reserve, who have begun to do what Terminids always do: breed out of control and menace all non-Terminid life that they see, lethally. The point is, Helldiver assistance has been requested on Borea. Now, I'm not sure how they managed to do this, considering the strain present on Borea was of the spore burst strain, but the hives there have gestated to such a degree that a sporeful event has been triggered on Terrek, the neighboring planet, and somehow the spores mutated in space into that of the predator strain. I am reminded of how certain varieties of super Earth frogs can swap gender during times of population decline. Except here, they're just trying to kill us. To that end, the bug divers of the TQC swiped the DSS from Seyshel Beach in favor of Borea, which I do suppose makes sense, but I have a feeling that the new ODSTs, with that overabundance of voting power, do not yet realize all of what the DSS can do. Eagle Storm, which is only active once enough common samples have been delineated to the DSS, not only spawns rotating waves of Eagle bombers that constantly strafe the enemy, but it also completely halts enemy invasion progress on the galactic map for that planet. We have used this ability a number of times to thwart the evil plans of J03L, the Automaton master of strategy and my personal nemesis, such as at the battle for Popley 9. Passively, the DSS offers a boost to liberation and a 35% reduction in exosuit cooldown times. Exosuits are lightweight, max ready to rock and roll, and can be delivered via Pelican to virtually any battle space. Their armor is marginal and they cannot be reloaded since they are shipped with their full load already, loaded, but they can take a real beating from Terminids. But bugs have historically never fared well against mechanized warfare either, and exosuits come in 2 distinct varieties. The Emancipator, armed with 2 pairs of twin-link high-caliber autocannons with explosive rounds, and the Patriot, armed with 16 rockets in its left arm and a rotary Gatling cannon on its right with 1,000 rounds. These things are capable of just making a completely undemocratic mess. If I piqued your interest with any of that, keep diving, leveling, and saving your requisition. These stratagems are available in your ship's upgrade console and require no warbond purchase. Enjoy, boys. Make the vile insects taste the mighty patriotic metal foot of Super Earth. Now for some news on movements in the galactic sphere. Terrek's situation is dire, as this is likely the very first time that ODSTs have had a chance to dance a mean tango with the Predator strain. This is why it was vital to study the Freedom Alliance's beginner guide. The predator strain is a subfaction of the Terminids, and subfactions are meant to challenge experienced veteran divers hardened by hours and hours of combat. The predator strain is unique in that its hunters are significantly more aggressive, can spit acid short distances, and disappear completely from view, even while in the midst of attacking you. Furthermore, stalkers can appear as common, normal enemies, and while they cannot cloak like their albino cousins in the garden variety strain, they do heaps of damage and can easily tear you into Helldiver guacamole with zero warning. The Spore-burst strain on Borea is slightly less concerning. Many of their common breeds just simply explode in a minorly damaging spore cloud upon death, which is easily survivable even if several go off literally right next to you. That's really about it. Compared to the hot class president of the predator strain, just as a metaphor, the Spore-burst strain is the lazy slacker in the back of the classroom who skips class to smoke. Think antagonist from the Breakfast Club in Terminid form. Truth be told, they are kind of useless, aren't they? Going back to the news, there is a third Terminid outbreak on Gatria, which is proceeding poorly. Evacuations are moving at a decent pace, at least by Ministry of Humanity standards, but it still does look like we are going to lose the planet anyway. I swear to you, ODSTs, things are not normally like this. You just came in at a really rough time for us. Over in the Automaton excessively militarized zone, the defense of Borea looks ready to collapse in roughly 12 hours. But I had a chance to speak to Oso today, and should the worst befall him and his merry band of honey-addled individuals, I have agreed to provide emergency transport for them to get off-world and somewhere safe. Down in the Illuminate Death Frontier, where I have been burning through entire crates of MG-43 ammunition, the battle for Seyshel Beach continues to just rage out of control. The DSS would have been incredibly useful here, as 24 hours of its Eagle Storm would have given us the time to really defang this oncoming squid offensive. But we have been doing so much with so little for so long that we squid divers are qualified to do practically anything with nothing, and we'll make do. Regnus fell under further Illuminate attack today, and it seems clear that the enemy here is intent on surrounding the maximum security megacity of Fort Sanctuary completely before making their move. The battle here is going to be fluffing apocalyptic. For you new people who have seemingly developed a liking for splashing squids, you should probably be brought up to speed on how a vote list is created. I'm sure you've noticed by now that once you bust open the ablative armor on an overseer, their flesh is necrotic, borderline deliquesce, which means it is rotted enough to become nearly liquid. That is because every single overseer that you have ever seen is already dead. They've been dead for a long time. They're just corpse puppets out there wandering around without a soul, and every time you gun one of them down, the Illuminate recover the body, dust off the victim, repair his undead flesh, and send him right back into battle like nothing happened to him. You have probably killed the same overseer at least 4 times by now. These fluffers get over death like a bad seasonal cold. How do they do this? They are animated by something called a prion, an infectious misfolded protein that attempts to transform any flesh that it encounters into Illuminate tissue. And since prions are neither alive or dead, and do not possess any of the characteristics of life, they are not picky when it comes to determining what tissue that they will reconstruct and reanimate. The worst part? This prion spreads through touch. If an overseer so much as brushes their fingers over you, in a few hours, you're going to swap teams. When it comes to infecting corpses, the process is even faster because the prion does not have to overcome the innate immune response. All of a sudden, those corpse piles gathered around obelisks became a whole lot more sinister, didn't they? So I imagine that an awful lot of you are thinking about a solution to this problem, and that is burn the bodies. Well, no. Incendiary weapons, while effective at killing the corpse puppets, serve to boil and aerosolize infected tissue, prions are notoriously hardy as compared to viruses or bacteria, this stuff could persist in the soil, the water table, or just splattered as poop blood smears in the environment for decades, all while retaining its full infectious potential. Just waiting for its next victim. When I call this place the Death Frontier, I'm not joking. The only way to stop them is either to use high voltage current, which causes the prion structure to break down, or utilize a plasma explosion of sufficient size to ensure that there is absolutely nothing left of the original body. You have to vaporize it all. Which is something of a tall order when it comes to dealing with flesh mobs, who are walking towers of prion, just waiting to infect some poor guy and add another body to their collection. Now you know what you're up against. Take care out there, my friends. This is not just some run-of-the-mill zombie fever. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Pondera the Radio Angel. It would seem that our threats continue to close in from all sides, but take heart, Helljumpers. I can see the numbers from my broadcast studio. The attacks are slowing down, and we are gradually exhausting the strength of the enemy. Just a little bit longer, and we should see ourselves free and clear of this mess. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.